Good evening and welcome to another Silly Point, and one I'm super duper excited about because it's another special edition, I'm going to call it, where we have a guest. This week, we don't have one guest, we have two guests. We have the Harris father and son duo. We'll say hello to them in a minute, but I am, of course, joined by Dan Allen on the other end of the call. Good evening, Dan.
Good evening, T. And I think this is podcast number 16 or vodcast number 16. I've actually found numbers 3 and 4, which were never put up in full. So they're going to be coming out soon. They're called the Lost Podcast, one of which included the Cornish KOHLI here. So, viewers, you got that to look forward to. 2 half-hour-long vodcasts that have never been seen in full before. How exciting is that?
Super exciting. And Dan, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to welcome on Matt Harris and, of course, his father, the Cornish KOHLI. Good evening, chaps.
Evening, lads.
Tyler, Dan, good evening, gents. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, Matt. Now, where are you? Is this...
He's sat beside me.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
We're not on good terms. We're
not on good terms. He's up in the West Wing and I'm down in the Orangery, so it'll work.
The Orangery. Very good. Very good.
Yes. But we're looking forward to this as much as you are, chaps. So we just hope we don't muck it up.
I think you already have.
Yeah. You've seen what you're wearing, Dad. It's shocking.
Yes. I got no merch.
Cornish KOHLI, you're looking well. How are you?
I'm on good form. I've had a new lease of, a second wind of lockdown. I was getting a bit stagnant, but I'm back doing a bit of fitness work. I'm energized, and the seasons are in the corner by the look of it. So what's not their lot like?
Better than ever. Now, you mentioned lockdown there, and I don't know if you've been watching, but we've been talking to a couple of club characters about what they've been doing during their lockdown. I would love to know what it's like in the Harris household during lockdown. What have you been getting up?
Well, can I just add to that, T? We've dubbed it Lockdown Heroes because some amazing talent has come out. So Chris Bowman has started, Chris Bowman has started a band with his brother in Australia. It's called the Brojangles. He's on every platform available, making fantastic music, really good. Greg McLean has discovered that he's an artist and he's creating some brilliant art. He's posting on his Instagram all the time. It's wonderful stuff. And Josh Stacey last week, well, he's come out as a writer. He's written a brilliant blog and it's on cricket, Diary of a Cricket Widow. And it's absolutely fantastic stuff. So what have you two been doing?
Well, I'm going to speak for the common man. For the 98% of us who've done, can I say bugger all? Am I allowed to say that? I've done bugger all. I planted a few plants last summer. And by the way, here we are. Just to prove. I'm working from home. So
working from home.
Working from home. I hope none of my colleagues see this. But I have, in readiness for senility and older age, I've been doing a bit of fitness work. So I've been out pounding the roads and lost a bit of weight, getting a bit fitter and feeling better for it.
Well, you are looking trim because I know us codgers, we go on a sort of trip every year or whatever to foreign climes or somewhere to play a bit of golf. There's normally about a dozen of us go, and it's always someone's birthday. And this September we're going to the Isle of Wight, Lance, aren't we? And it's your birthday, I think.
Oh.
And, I can't remember. Is it a big one?
It's the special 61st because it was supposed
to go last year.
It was supposed to go last year when I was actually 60.
Yeah.
So there's actually 16, and Matt is going as well. His golf's coming on lovely.
Interesting.
You see link below.
It's like my fielding. It's not.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that, Lance. It's going to be great. And I think, viewers, doesn't he look well for 60?
I've been growing out my hair. What I found in lockdown is, and this is one for all the viewers, at times buying all the products you want are a bit more difficult because of lockdown and supply chain issues. But you can get away, fellas, and ladies. You can wear a conditioner. You can use a conditioner for dry hair, and a shampoo for greasy and lank hair. And they work. You know,
Yeah.
Don't get taken in by it all. How much was the last haircut you had, Dan?
Oh, I've done this story. Call it a fiver.
Genius.
Very good.
Perfect. Well,
sorry, Matt. What
Matt, it's fantastic to hear about gardening. And Matt, what have you been doing?
Well, unlike my dad, I'm not able to work from home because my school grades wouldn't allow it, so I've got to go out and work. So I'm working at Farley. I'm working out on the golf course there. Yeah, pretty much just working there, getting ready in terms of the ground for the new season, and pretty much that's it, really. Just trying to stay healthy.
Gardening as well, but it's somewhat slightly different on a bigger scale.
Yeah, on a better, more organised scale with a bit more money involved.
And is Farley looking good, Matt?
Yeah. So we've done our course renovations. We've reshaped all the tees. It's looking like a proper golf course again.
Good. We'll be up there in a week or so.
Yeah, coming back on the 29th, we open.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Right, I'm going to move on slightly. Cornish KOHLI and Dan Allen, I'm going to bring you in here as well. You guys have got quite a substantial cricketing background together. So, Dan, I'm going to ask you to just elaborate a little bit more about that. And then from each of you, I'd like to know what your favourite cricketing memory is of each other.
Lance came to the club in '93, I think, and we played quite a few games together in the sort of ones and then twos and stuff like that, didn't we, Lance? And Lance is brilliant cricketer, excellent bat, and he's got these sort of funny sort of twirly things which come up well. And you kept wicket for quite a while as well. A real rounder.
Subsworth, didn't I?
Absolutely, and a pleasure to play with. Always having a bit of a laugh on the pitch. Batting, winding the bowlers up, all that kind of stuff. So I would have imagined frustrating as hell to bowl at, which I think worked to our favour quite a lot. We always played cricket for fun, and we were almost a sort of anti-sledging. This is the 90s. We were almost sort of anti-sledging. We sort of wound people up by laughing at them, which was much more fun. But my best memory of Lance was when we were playing at where was it? It was not Thames Ditton or Long Ditton or
East Moseley.
No. With Pete.
Hampton Wick.
No, near there.
Old Tiffs.
Old Tiffinians we were playing at, and their skipper was a lovely chap, but he was a bit of a he was a bit aggressive. Pete, I can't remember his name. Pete something. And he always had a bit of chat. And Lance would come. He came into bat once, and he sort of skips around when he's batting, and he's a bit like Derek Randall was. Anyone that remembers Derek Randall, and so Lance is going into bat, and old Pete, the opposition skipper, says, "Who's this? Fucking Wayne Sleep." And I just thought no one knows who Wayne Sleep is. Anyway, look, he was a ballet dancer.
Yes. Did you, in response, Ty, to your question, you did the coup at Purley story a couple of weeks ago, didn't you? That was my...
No, I haven't done the coup. I haven't done the coup story.
Oh, no. Right. So listen, viewer, when I joined the club in 1993, yeah, played a couple of games for the threes on the rec and got elevated to the twos. So it was about the third game, and we were away at Purley, our lovely rival down the road. And at the time, we had a codger, in fact, who was captaining the team, but he was a bit too football in his style of captaincy. And our captain says, "Right, I've decided we're fielding. I've got the pads on because I'm wicket keeper. And right, I want you to open the batting. You're going to be at mid-off. I want energy. And amongst all this maelstrom of footballism, Dan goes, no. It's not going to work that way. ... Can I say names or not?
If you want.
Yeah, okay. It's not going to work like that, Glenn. I'm captain. And I looked, what the hell is this? Some kind of redneck cricket club? So this fuck Glenn, in a quite a humble way, bowed his head and gave the captaincy over to Dan and said, "I'm in charge." Dan said, "I'm in charge from now on." And we went on and, you know, won the game. And Dan, it was his first coup at the club. And I was like 3 games in thinking, what the hell is going on in this club? But, you know, that was 28 years ago or whenever it was.
Is it really? Good Lord. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how time flies. I can't remember any of that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It was great though. And, you know, in amongst codgers, I'm one of the pups in terms of being at the club. You know, 28 years is nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm 35.
With the colour and amount of hair that you have left there.
People think I dye it.
Yeah, I was going to say, what you and Derek do? I mean, what is it you use?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the Armada. I think it's the Spanish roots. That's, you know, from Cornwall. They got that far and no further. So
well, but moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. Matt Harris, I'm not going to leave you out of this discussion. Although we haven't played together quite so long, we've both been at the club quite a long time and have certainly played some fantastic cricket together. So I think we should have a little memory session as well. We can't just leave it to the codgers. So I shall start. There are many memories of playing cricket with you, Matthew. I think any catch that you take is a fantastic one. However, there have been some spectacular catches. One being, I think you were fielding a kind of short third man and someone smashed it at you, and running forward, you just plucked it out the air with one hand. That was a good one. But also, another memory was your massive 6 into Gresham School recently, and we have it on film. So that's going to be playing right now. Fantastic. And was that a black knight bat you were using?
It was. I've moved on to greener pastures now, but yeah, that was a black knight bat at the time.
Fantastic. So some of my memories of you, Matt, for sure.
For good measure, I'm now going to play the clip of you dropping an absolute dolly off Lucy's.
I think
it's only fair.
It is. It is. Oh, dear.
Tyler, if I could just interject, you might not want me to recall this, but I recall 2 years ago, for logistics reasons, I think you had an event at school and you could only play a home game, and you ended up playing in the 3s on the rec with me, and I was captain that day. And we opened the batting. We did not. We opened the batting as a side, and you clearly, you know, went in at number 1, and you scored the most majestic 100 on the rec. And at the Sanderstead, there's a bit of a closed shop about players who scored hundreds on the rec, but I think that was the best 100 I'd seen, and it probably was better than all the ones you play on the beautiful tracks in the ones that you've done over the years. That was a grafting quality ton, old chap.
Have you ever thought the bowling might be a little bit different though?
Yeah. A bit floating.
Not trying to take anything away from you, T. You know, they always say a 40 on the rec is worth a ton. So a ton on the rec is well, you know, it's huge.
But do you know something? But it is quite a rare thing to score a ton on the rec, and there's a club song about it, and you know, it's a thing.
It's something.
Through that day when I knew I was playing on the rec to do that. So,
although we now have a plastic pitch on the rec, and there is. I'm sort of teeing up a sort of future little videoette that we've been asked to create for the Surrey Cricket Foundation, because the leagues are looking at potentially for 3rd and 4th 11 cricket, potentially offering up the potential for playing games on artificial tracks. So we're going to have a bit of a debate about that, so that people can get the pros and cons and the views of us who have done it. But it's definitely made things a little bit different over there. It's a lot easier to bat on a net mat than our lovely track.
Sure. Although our square on the rec is improving thanks to the efforts.
It certainly is.
You know, 3 or 4 of the guys at the club, some on this call, and you know, DC, Tommy,
When you say sub on this call, you mean one on this call?
I mean, my son.
Absolutely.
Well done, Matt. Well done.
Well, you drop me up there, so it's not.
Yeah, but you don't cut the grass here, though, do you? That's the point.
No, you don't pay me enough.
Fair dues. Fair dues.
And sorry, Matt, I'm going to give you your moment. You may recall a memory. It could be of Dan, it could be of the Cornish KOHLI, or myself, if you so please.
Well, obviously with Dad going to all his games on a Saturday, but with Ty, me and you played school cricket together. We went to the same school. Believe it or not, you've turned out much better than I have. But just going from school games and then running up to the club and playing club cricket together, it was sort of the contrast in the standards. And then, like, we've played dev cricket over a few years, and I've seen you do extraordinary things. And it's just sort of that sort of growth in how we've seen each other go on.
Oh,
I think it's just a bit like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good.
Very good. Very charming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very
Done
charming.
And you know, and isn't it great, Dan, from our old position to see two young guys developing as cricketers, as friends, and have the 30, 40 years ahead of them that we've had.
Well, absolutely right. I think one of the things we put down that me and T talked about while we were sort of planning what we'd do here was a sort of fathers and sons, and I must, of course, say, and daughters, because that's very much, well, like most cricket clubs, that's quite a tradition. But I think we really, we've got so many fathers and sons, stroke daughters at Sanderstead, loads of them. Oh, have you been writing them down?
Well, I'm struggling. I've got about 8, but I'm sure there's more.
Well, read them off very, very quickly.
Yeah, the Allens.
Yes.
The Wards.
Yes.
Rushforths.
Yes.
Locks.
Yes.
Careys.
Yes.
Hackshalls.
Yes. Yes.
Wallbanks.
Yes.
Harrises. So it was people who played senior cricket, because we got a lot of colts and dads.
True.
But these are senior cricket, and I'm sure, and apologies to other dads and daughters and sons who've played for the club at senior level, but there are probably a lot more.
Yeah, I think there probably are. You've got the Sherlocks, of course, but you're going back into the midst of time there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's quite a few, and there's a lot coming through. You got the Carters with young Ben, and as you said, a lot of Colts. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. But it's a mark of all clubs like ours that environment is a pipeline for family life, isn't it?
Well, exactly. I mean, we are a community, probably more than we are a cricket club, or certainly that's what we see ourselves as.
Well, like Greg said a few podcasts ago, we're a drinking club with a cricket problem.
Yes, absolutely. Love that. Very
absolutely.
good.
So we've talked a little bit about memories.
Did we?
Current day.
I forgot.
Soon there will be cricket back, live cricket, or new videos, new games, new matches, a full season, we hope. We are obviously looking forward to this season, I imagine. What are our aspirations? What are we looking forward to?
Shall I? I'll just go first very, very quickly, because obviously I can't wait. And I'm actually running a series of little sort of Instagram and Facebook and TikTok posts, which is themed around the not long now and so can't wait. So, just trying to build up that momentum. But yeah, it looks like we're going to start on time. We're going to start practicing just after Easter, early April. First games, I think the first league game is the 9th of May, but there'll be some practice games in advance of that. And I'll be up there filming as often as I can, or as often as I'm allowed. So yeah, cricket's coming back. It's coming back.
Yes, it's coming home.
Absolutely. So Matt, you go first. What do you look forward to? What are your aspirations?
I think if, in the twos, just building on what we started last year, obviously winning the truncated cricket season was a great start. But now with the new players coming in and some dropping down, we've got to continue that. And just continuing to get better. Smash
more sixes, take more catches.
Yeah,
even get some wickets.
Lots of wickets.
That doesn't happen.
He's a bowler.
Brilliant. Good.
Love it. And Lance, I hear you're captaining again, I think.
Well, I'm a bit elevated, to be honest, Tyler, in that I was captain the fives last year, in that condensed season, but the committee have kindly asked me to be the fours captain. So I think my main objective is to integrate some players into the fours team. People like Josh McKinnon and Sag, and get them used to playing fours cricket for the next 10 years. And I think I can do that.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant. There could be sight screens.
Yes, there'll be sight screens. There will be sight screens.
Yeah.
Sags, people like this. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, as of course I am. And I was thinking the other day, I've started playing league cricket, grown-up cricket, when I was 15. So I've had, this will be my 46th year at the top of playing league cricket. Thank you for the response to that. But yeah,
isn't it time to give up?
What? Trying to be funny. But I approach Saturdays the same way as I did, like a lot of cricketers, with the enthusiasm and hope every Saturday of playing well and enjoying myself that I did when I was a teenager. So yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. It sounds like it might be on an artificial track as well, Lance. So there has to be some runs to be scored.
Although the bounce might do you a bit because you are short. That is one thing.
I might
have to wear a helmet for the first time, paradoxically, on a bouncy true track. But yeah, I played on the Astros last year and found it oddly that bit of extra bounce. I was getting caught behind. I didn't score at all. And you'd think, oh, this will be nice and true and easy. And it wasn't. So mixed feelings about that. But what's your thoughts, Ty?
I think that the first team is in an interesting stage where there's been some changes and there are still some changes with some new faces to the club, new players. So it's as much about trying to gel as a team and create kind of a new look first 11 and learn how to play cricket together and enjoy things on and off the field as much as it is obviously doing well. You go into a Saturday game, you want to do well. But Sanderstead's a drinking club with a cricket problem. So I think as long as people are enjoying cricket, that's my aspiration, to be honest.
I think the ones are going to have a great season. I really do. Some good players, a good atmosphere to build on from last year, and entertaining players. And I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great viewing, and I think you're going to do well. And T, I think you're going to score a lot of runs this season.
I always hope so.
Well, no.
Well, it's always a great pleasure to see.
You're going to. It's not a hope. It's going to happen this year.
It's interesting, isn't it? You can see a guy, hit it around and get a 30 or 40. But when Tyler gets a 30 or 40, it's an education to watch. Such a good bat, And he's looking quite modest and humble now, but he's one of the most stylish bats we've ever had at the club. And we go back down to people like Ned, of course, Codger, Chris Aishelman.
Yeah, they're much better now.
What's that phrase?
The older we get, the better we were.
It's an interesting point, Lance, about the older players, because I've always thought, through talking to Dan and a number of other coaches at the club, and I'm sure Matt's the same, you hear so many stories about kind of old club cricketers who are fantastic to play with and watch, and they're just stories to kind of Matt and myself and anyone. I'd love to have seen some older generation play.
The real pity for me and blokes of my age is we didn't have Dan and his equipment on the boundary in those days, so we can't see that stuff. But yours is now.
You didn't have my camera either.
No. But you always seem to have a zoom lens to hand, etc. But yeah, it's just a generational thing that yours will be forever in the stratosphere that people can watch it. But my odd achievement, sadly, is just a memory that's got better over the years. the next question is, of course, is what's the biggest divide between one member of the family and the other in terms of cricketing ability? We might not want to answer that in public.
No.
But you know, there's you know, Dan and Jalan, two quality cricketers, closely, you know, in terms of their ability. Dan as a bowler.
Only if you take away the time gap.
Well, no, but I think the batting, take the batting out as well. But you know, there's others in that list. You think there's quite a difference. You know, the gene pool Mister generation or something like that in terms of ability.
Cheers, Dad.
No, not at all.
Cheers,
you're
right?
you're a good cricketer. You know, my goodness, you're bowling. You know, I'm not a bowler. I'm just a chucker, pie man. But you know, it is interesting when you look at those names. Some are similar and others are, but that doesn't matter. It's all cricket.
I'd like to play a small game, if that's okay with you chaps.
Excellent.
It's going to be based around the familiar game show where partners answer questions about each other. However, obviously you're a father and son, so we're going to have to change the name slightly. It's going to be called All-Star Mr. and Mr., I think, or All-Star Father and Son is probably more appropriate. I am going to say who is more likely to, etc., etc., and you are either going to put your hand up if you think it's you, or point, but I don't know where you're pointing at. Dan, where do they have to point?
So, a bit like University Challenge, Lance, you're pointing up.
Yep.
And Matt, you're pointing down if it's Lance.
Fantastic. Okay. Should we do a test run?
Oh, yes. Let's do it.
I think with the Harrises, it's always wise.
I think we might need a few test runs.
A few.
What did you say up from me?
Yes.
Perfect. Who is taller?
I am.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Was that a test? Was that a
Yeah,
test?
that was a test. Well, you did.
That was
Yeah.
perfect.
Did we get it right?
Yeah.
I'm going to fire away. I don't have a huge number. Anyway, here we go. Who is more likely to buy either mum or Lance, your wife, flowers?
Me.
Yeah, Dad. Dad.
Who is the funniest?
Oh.
Depends whether they're playing cricket or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very, yeah.
Who smells best?
Oh, mate.
Really?
No,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
mate.
say you know, I'm pretty hygienic.
Well, I normally share a room with Lance when we go on tour, so and he smells lovely.
You're the longest in the shower, though, aren't you?
Moving on.
Who is the best chef?
We're
scraping the frying pan now.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer to that, Ty. Sorry.
I see where we're at. Who has the best fashion sense?
Oh, mate. Yeah. Oh, mate.
There is 40 years between us.
I think you're the smartest on the golf course, though, Lance. I have to say.
Yeah, I am. I'm the straightest.
Yes.
I'm the lowest handicap.
Yes.
I'm the best putter.
Yes.
I'm the best organizer of golf.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yes. There's a story.
We will come back to that. Who gives the better hugs?
Oh, Matthew.
Oh, yeah. Dad doesn't give hugs.
He's the king of the hugs.
Okay. Who has the better music taste?
Now, you can't say that because it's generational.
Yeah, but it's not you. I've heard your stuff.
It's me.
I'll vouch for that, Dan.
Kid Creole and the
well
coconut.
answered.
Who is the messiest in the cricket changing room?
I've got more kit, so yeah, mine spreads out.
And at home, Tyler.
I can believe that. And finally, who is the better cricketer?
Oh, good question.
You know,
what are you pointing down for?
Yeah.
Where's he? He's moved.
He's up. No, he's up. He's upstairs. That's a debate in itself, that one.
I think so. Yeah. I'm doing myself down a little.
I think so. I think in your younger day, I mean, Matt's got a long time ahead of him, and you, when you were younger and Matt hadn't seen you, I think you were a class act. So I think Matt's got quite a way to go yet, but I'm sure he could get there.
Well, I suppose I was measuring my batting against his bowling, and I think he's a better bowler than I was batsman.
Yeah, but you'd still smack him around.
I wouldn't.
Reverse sweat.
Perfect. Did you have an organisational hiccup on the golf course, Lance? Or
all the time, and it doesn't stop there. It extends to the restaurant in the evening, where the
Lance fancies himself as a bit of an organiser. He's very sort of into his admin, and he'll always take charge of all of our trips and organise the golf and the restaurants and all that kind of stuff. And we take the mickey out of him mercilessly because we know how meticulous he is, and he hates it when we sort of don't go along. So we take the mickey out of him a little bit. Yes. He loves the attention, but he does cock it up a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does. We were in Cornwall on cricket tour, and we went to the West Cornwall Golf Club on the Wednesday because we had a rest day from the cricket. We all turn up, and the fella said, "We were expecting you yesterday." Oh, they're all behind me with the eyes staring into the back. I said, "Well, really, and the fella said, "Don't worry, you can all go out again today." So that was just a small smidgen.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the same when the exact same thing happened at a lovely fish restaurant in Le Touquet, where Lance had ordered ahead and said, "We want lobster." And we turned up a day late.
12 days, 12 of us.
Oh dear! So that was a real cock up. The bloke's still angry, still trying to get rid of his lobster.
We're still bankrupt, I think, is the phrase.
Fantasy cricket. Dan Allen, you love a bit of fantasy cricket. You're making the guide as we speak. Well, not right now, but in the general sense.
Well, and Lance is helping. Lance has been putting some stuff together for the players that he knows. So do you want me to just do a quick thing? So Fantasy Cricket League, we're starting again this year. We've got about, 50 people signed up. It's great. There'll be a link below for anyone that does want to sign up. There's not long left. So, but if you do sign up, you will get sent a link, pick your team, you will get sent a form guide and all that kind of stuff. So it's all properly organised. There'll be prizes. Don't know what yet. Depends on how many people join in. It'll be great fun.
Now, Matt and Lance, talk to us about your fantasy team thoughts, ideas. Are you both signed up?
Of course.
Yep.
Fantastic to hear. Matt, talk to us about the thoughts for your teams. Who have you got your eye on?
If he's about, Johnny Locke.
If he's about,
he's working for Villa now. He's making posters for a football club.
Yeah, not on a Saturday.
All right. Well, yeah, he's going to get runs low down and he'll take the odd wicket or two.
Are you one to put yourself in your team, Matt?
Oh, I'm captaining myself. I'm not. I'm going to captain myself.
Excellent.
Good man.
Mr. KOHLI?
Much the same, really. I've gone for another all-rounder who's a pillager of runs and wickets and a safe pair of hands, Stu Ellery. He's a points machine. And, coming in at about number 7 for the 3s or 4s, he'll score a lot of runs and do all that. I've gone for a couple of other. Greg McLean, of course, for his wickets. Yogi for his runs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I shouldn't say it, but if I'm a cheap option, I might just, put myself in there.
I've been bigging you up on these various podcasts, Lance, and I can't see you. I'm in charge of the pricing, so I can't see you being cheap. Not at the start, anyway.
Oh, yeah. Give it a couple of weeks of form, and then the price will start tumbling.
Yeah.
The most transferred person out of the club.
Who are you looking at, T?
With regards to fantasy, well, I think I said last podcast, Lance, you're high on my list, that's for sure. Along with some other players, Josh Stacey, who we had on last week, at the right price, he would be fantastic. And we've got some new players in the club, so it might be worth a gamble or a punt. Some of those, there are some fantastic players. So Yeah, Dan Allen, back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right with Josh. I think Josh last year was very much he did incredibly well with the ball, but he really is a batsman, and I think he's gonna do incredibly well. And with George not there, it sort of opens up a little bit more space for the other players. So I think Josh is going to do well. But Lance, obviously, I've always thought you would do well. Lance T, I think you're going to have a good season. I think in the past when we've done fantasy, you've had sort of 2 or 3 players who would dominate. You know, you had Sai and George, and you thought, well, these are the guys who are going to make all the points. I think this season it's going to be wide open, which makes it even.
You mentioned Siles. You can't ever write Simon Carter off.
Of course you can't. No, I mean, he is the player that's played at the highest level out of anyone. I mean, you know, played a bit of Surrey 2 stuff way back when. So he's a quality cricketer.
Yeah.
He's still got time left in him. He certainly has.
Definitely.
And his captaincy, style is also such a great attribute. For that.
Yeah, although I hope he doesn't hold himself back. I mean, he did last year. I think because he was wanted to have a look at all the players and let the players sort of, new players sort of gel. So he didn't really. He batted himself. He hardly batted, did he? Yeah. And he didn't bowl as much unless really needed. So I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't hold himself back, and I hope he plays a bit more. Chris Bowman, of course, is too much of Chris, but he's got real pedigree and he's got an Australian first grade tongue. So hey, that's pretty impressive.
He might be expensive though. That sounds
he might be expensive. Yeah.
Chaps, is there anything else? The floor is open.
Anybody been up the sawmill recently?
Do you know the new picket fence that's gone in?
Oh, it's gone up, is it?
Oh yeah. It's, Keezy and Gary Morrell have put it up.
Oh,
that kind of this area.
Yeah,
right behind you, T. If you turn round, you're going to see it.
You'll trip over it or jump over it if you want.
You'll run straight into it. Just like you did at Dorking. That's one of the clip that's being played as we speak.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's all painted. It's looking right.
Where is it located, Matt? Just bottom side or?
Yeah, a bit like Dorking's.
I thought it was to stop the balls going down.
No, there's a different solution for that.
Are we rounding up?
I think so, unless you got anything else.
Right.
There's no one left watching, so we can do what we want.
Lance Harris, the Cornish KOHLI. Harris, thank you so much for coming on. It's been wonderful, very entertaining, of course. Can you just sign off with one word each, a word of your choice?
Willow.
Willow, nice.
Willow and Matt.
Goodbye. See ya.
Very good.
And on that, thank you.
Well on time. Well on, Dano.
Peace out from me.
Very good.
Well played. It's in the can. Lunch, everybody.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Oh yes, that's gone for 4. Dell's going to be livid. Let's look at Dell. Oh, a double teapot. A double teapot from Dell. That's magnificent.
I don't care, I just want to get home.